Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC Vegas 103, Kape versus Almabayev. We back with another breakdown of a card that is... I'll start by saying in the Apex, which should already give you a bad sign, but also is not great. One thing I will say, I think this card looks a lot worse due to the god-awful card order. Maybe that's just me, but I think if this card was ordered correctly, it would look a lot better. Wanna know how I know that? Because I ordered this card correctly on Tuesday in a tweet. If you want to go back to see that, you link in the description, or if you already follow me, you know where to go. On Tuesday, I made what the order should be, and then when I did that, the card didn't look too bad. But it's with this weird ass order the UFC has that the card looks pretty bad. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe the card sucks either way, but I think with the order that we have been given, it does not look, it looks a lot worse, is what I'm saying. So, still not a great card, but I think it could look better and be perceived better if it was ordered better. Besides that, I don't really got much I can say about this card. It's another shitty night in the Apex. Well, I guess evening in the Apex, which is to be expected, but with every one of these cards. So what can you do? This is our third Apex card of the year, and it looks as great as the other ones. The Durn card was not great. The Cannoneer card was okay, if I remember, and this one, again, probably leans closer to not being that great, like the Durn card. But again, hopefully I'm wrong. A lot of times I am. Hopefully I am here, because I always want the card to be good, but I will always be honest if I don't think it looks good. So, and this one does not look great. But I think I've said that enough. It's an Apex card. I think you know that enough. So let's not waste any more time. Let's head back to the Apex to break down some more fights that will probably suck, but maybe a few will be good. But before I can do that, the last thing I'll say is please like, comment, and subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2025. And unless I'm going to say something, which I don't think I am, I talked about the card being what it is and the normal little intro, so is there anything else I can think to say? Not really. So, you ready to break down 12 fights in the Apex? Let's head to that shithole and break down some fights. I'm looking forward to it as much as you are, which means not at all. Kape, Almeida, UFC Vegas 103. My first breakdown was UFC Vegas 34. Now we're all the way up to 103. Crazy. Let's not waste any more time rambling. Let's break down some fights in the shithole known as the Apex. Ready? Let's go. Of course, we begin with our prelims and a fucking opener that is not great, but you know, there's somehow, I think, worse fights on this card than our first fight of the night. As we head to women's flyweight for a card opener between Montana de la Rosa versus Luana Dread Carolina. It's actually incredible. This is not the worst fight on the card, and actually, I'd say not even second worst. I think there's two fights worse than this one. Yeah, that says a lot, because this is a god-awful fucking fight between god-awful fighters. But again, somehow not the worst one on the card. That's extremely sad. I guess that says a lot about the card, though. And yeah, it's somehow impressive that this ain't the worst fight on the card, so... I don't know. It's a shitty fight, but compared to a few other fights, it don't look that bad. Let's get into it. Montana, Luana. Let's begin the night with our first fighter, Montana de la Rosa. Montana in the UFC is 6-5-1. Her wins have been coming off the Ultimate Fighter. She beat Christiane Marks, Rachel Ostovich, Nadia Kassian, Mara Borrelia, I don't know who the fuck half those people were, Ariane Lipski, and Andrea Lee. She has lost to Andrea Lee, Viviane Araujo, Macy Barber, Tatiana Suarez, and JJ Aldrich. And then she had a draw with Mayra Bueno Silva. She's not good. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, she's not a good fighter. From what I've seen from her, she's never... The few fights I've seen of hers, I think, has been, I would say, her last 5. Maybe I watched her Araujo fight, I don't remember. She's not good. None of her wins are that impressive. That's kind of what Rachel Ostovich, Ariane Lipski, and Andrea Lee. Ooh. Every time she fights someone legit, she loses. Or Andrea Lee. And she somehow got to a draw with Mayra Bueno Silva. How, I don't know or care. She's not good. Like, I can't really... I don't know anything she's good at. I don't know where she's good at. I don't know what she's good at. She's not good. So... And, like, she should not even be in the UFC at this point. They handed her a win against shitty-ass Andrea Lee. And just somehow she's still in a... Somehow she keeps her UFC job now. I don't know what to say. She's only 30, which is kind of fucking impressive. She's so fucking young. But outside of being young as shit, for being in the UFC since 2017, she's not good. Her best one is Ariane Lipski, which says a lot. And all her like, this ain't the worst 3-fight losing streak in the world, I'll give her that much, but still, every time she steps up, she gets pushed back down, because she's fucking terrible. So, I really don't know what else you want me to say about a terrible fighter like Montana, who should have been in PFO 2 years ago. So, I don't even know. Again, I'm not even trying to be funny. I remember so little about her fights, and the little I do remember, it's not her moments. So, hell, the thing I remember, I called JJ Aldrich as an underdog here. That was a nice pick by me. Outside of that, I just don't got anything to say about Montana. I think she's fucking terrible. And, yeah. I don't know what else you want me to say. To talk about her opponent, Luana Carolina, another fighter I've been very harsh on over the years, but somehow she's on a 3-fight winning streak. I guess my luck. Luana in the UFC is 6-3, coming off a Contender Series. Her wins in the UFC have been Castañeda, Botelho, Lupi Godinez, even though that was a questionable decision, Ivana Petrovic, Julia Stoliarenko, and Lucy Pudilova. Her losses have been Ariane Lipski, Molly McCann, and Joanne Wood. I've been one of the biggest Carolina haters over the years, and I still don't think she's that good, but I'll give her flowers when they are due. She is on a 3-fight winning streak. But I'm going to take half those flowers away, because those 3 wins have been against 3 tomato cans. Ivana Petrovic, garbage. Julia Stoliarenko, one of the worst female fighters I've ever seen. Lucy Pudilova, garbage. Yeah, 3 wins is 3 wins, especially when you're Luana Carolina, but God, they're not good. Like, Like, I'll give her this. Lupi Godinez is a good win. If you do think she won that fight, I remember it being questionable. Castañeda, that's a tough debut, I'll give her that. But I kind of same thing I said with Montana. Every time she stepped up, she's been pushed back down. And I'd say by lesser competition. She lost to Ariane Lipsky. She lost to Molly McCann. Ew. And she lost to Joanne Wood, which that's not awful. So, Luana's not very good, but I will say she, like, even against tomato cans, I will say she has looked better. I think this is her last 3 fights have been the best she's ever looked. I guess that's a low goddamn bar, but shit. Compared to what she has looked like in the UFC, I guess you could look, though I guess you can't get much lower than getting knocked out by Molly McCann, so she decided to stop fucking sucking and actually win a fight, and she has. So, I'll give her flowers. She's on a 3-fight winning streak, 31 years old, looking the best she's ever had. But again, you look deep into that 3-fight winning streak, trash, not even in the UFC, not even in the UFC, and let's be honest, soon won't be in the UFC. So, she's looking better, but against low competition. The bang first fight, I have Luana Carolina, minus 130 to plus 110. I would have Luana a bigger favorite. I'd probably have her minus 150, 160. She should win this fight, in my opinion. I don't think Montana's much of a step up from who she's been fighting. I would say she is a step up, but minor. Like, let's be honest, you already value Montana de la Rosa in 2025 much higher than Pudilova, Stoyarenko, or Ivana. I don't. I think she's better than those 3, and she would beat those 3, but not much better. So, she showed she can still beat tomato cans like Andrea Lee in her last fight, so I'll give her that much, but outside of that, I really don't got a lot good to say about this fight or either fighter. The best thing I'll say is, well, I think Luana should win this fight, and she will be my pick. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Luana's the better fighter. Like, I think she's looked better lately. She's fucking, I think, has more in her game. She's, I can't remember what Montana's good at, if I'm being honest with you, so it's hard not to just go with who's on a winning streak, who's, you would swear is younger, but you'd be wrong, but who's on a winning streak, having the best run of their career, and it is not shitty Montana de la Rosa. So, first pick of the night, give me Luana Carolina by decision. Can't believe this is the second time at least in a row I'm picking her. Yeah, I can't believe she could be on a 4-fight winning streak. Fuck. Give me Luana Carolina by decision. I think is just a better fighter. What's the height and all that? Same height. Okay, so no difference there. Yeah, give me Luana by decision. I think she's the better fighter with all the momentum and looking the best she ever has. So give me Luana Carolina by decision to begin our night. Ugh, hey, I just picking Luana Carolina will always feel wrong. 'Cause I still don't like her. I think she's a joke. But I'd rather get my pick right than take an O for no reason, you know, so, yeah. After that, we go to our second fight of the night, the most disrespected fighter and fight on the card. How this is not on the main card, let alone it should be the co-main event, I don't know. But, you know, the UFC is fucking stupid. And then our second fight of the night, we have a banger. I'll say it again, a banger. As we head to flyweight, a very busy weight class on this card, for a fun fight between Charles Energy Johnson versus Ramazan Temirov. What a fight. This is such a fucking good fight. How, again, bare minimum, this should be the featured prelim. How is this the second fight of the night? Whatever, fuck you, UFC. What a banger here. What a banger. Energy coming off one of the best years of 2024 for any fighter. Ramazan coming off a great debut. This is going to be fun. I'm very excited for this fight. So let's get into it. And we'll begin with the top 15 ranked 4-fight winning streak having energy. Charles Johnson UFC is 6-4, even though some of those wins and losses probably should be flipped. His wins in the UFC have been Jimmy Flick, That Maxim, Jake Hadley, Joshua Van, and Sumadarji. His losses have been Muhammad Mukayev, Volgas Zumagulov, Ode Osborne, Cody Durden, Rafael Esteban. If you want to flip this and this, because you can say he probably won this fight and he lost this, fine. But, no need to talk about any of this, because this part is, some reason, this fighter and this fighter are two different people. So, no, I'm not going to talk about any of this, because I think it's pointless. Let's talk about NRG's 2024. So Charles Johnson comes in 2024 on a 3-fight losing streak against an undefeated 15-0 hyped up prospect as a giant underdog, and beats him. And that's one way to start your year. Then, a few months later, he heads to St. Louis as, I think, an underdog again against shitty Jake Hadley and destroys him 2-0. Then he heads to, I forget where this fight was at, but he heads to wherever it was as a giant underdog against Joshua Van and KOs him 3-0. And then to end the year, he heads to the Apex in October to fight Sumadarji, and he beats him. Should have finished him if the ref was not a fucking moron. 4-0 in 2024, what a year for energy. Beating two great prospects at the time. For one of them, Joshua Van, still great, and then two veterans looking good in all those fights. What a fucking year for energy. Like, if we're giving fighter of the year to anybody that's not a champion, it's Charles Johnson. He's comeback fighter of the year, that's for sure. Started the year on a 3-fight skid, ended the year in the top 15 on a 4-fight winning streak. How do you not love Charles Johnson? He's just a good guy. And a fucking great fighter, apparently. Out of nowhere. Another guy, I'll be honest, I was very harsh on in his first half of the UFC career, but now he's shut me up and I'm a fan. I love energy. I think he's fucking awesome. And I can't wait to see him fight. I hope he wins this one. I would love to see him go to 5-0 and prove the UFC is disrespecting him for no reason, putting him so low on the card when he's not a boring fighter. He's on a 4-fight winning streak. So, come on. But yeah, all in 1 year, might I add, so I think it's bullshit. But I think the UFC is just pissed he keeps beating their guys who they want to beat him, like Azat and Joshua Van, so seems like we're going to be adding another name to that list, hopefully, but who knows. It's a lot tougher fight than Azat, but not Josh Van level. So, very few are. So, this should be interesting. Look, Energy is a really good fighter, man. He's well-rounded. His striking's got better. His ground game's good. His cardio's good. He's got better. Out of nowhere, again, the guy we saw in 2023 and the guy we see in 2024 are two different people, fighters, and everything else in between. Let's see what Energy can do in 2025. Was it a one-year wonder thing, or is he legit a top contender? We're gonna find out. Good to have Energy back. It sucks he's so low on the card, but whatever. Let's see what Energy can do in 2025. He's having a tough start to his 2025 as we go to his opponent, Ramazan Temirov. 1-0 in the UFC, had his UFC debut. I think, was it on the same card as Charles Johnson? Was it on the same card? I think it was, wasn't it? No. Yeah, I think they were like a week apart. But yeah, fucking 1-0 in the UFC. In his UFC debut, he came in and smashed CJ Vergara and looked scary good. This man hits hard for flyweight, very hard, as he has 11 knockouts in his career. This kid's good. Do I think they're feeding him to the wolves a little quickly? Maybe. That top 15 fight for one win against CJ Vergara? I like CJ, and I think that was a very impressive win. But is that a top 15 earning win? Like, I get he's on a giant winning streak, 10 in a row now? But I don't know if he should be getting a top 15 shot. But UFC might see something I don't. We're gonna find out. Yeah, I was impressed with Ramazan's debut. I still don't know if this is a great fight for him. Fighting a veteran like Energy in your second UFC fight's not ideal, but he has the power. He has the power, man. Wolf Split Energy might drag him deep into a fight, and that might not go great for Ramazan, even though he has won 6 fights by decision, so maybe he can go deep into a fight. We're gonna find out, and I don't think he's gonna wipe the floor of Energy like he did CJ Vergara. If he does, we really gotta start talking about this man, because if you knock out Energy, we're gonna have to start making some conversations about Ramazan, but you actually gotta do it first, so good luck, kid. Good luck. Should be an interesting one. Let's see what this kid can really do. The betting odds for this fight, I don't even remember what they are at this point. Maybe Ramazan's still the favorite, but I swear they became I think Energy became the favorite. If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure Charles Johnson is the favorite now, but by I think like -120 or whatever. I think he deserves to be the favorite. I think you're really I don't think a big favorite, but I think -120, 130 is fair. Like, how do you not make this dude the favorite already? How many times are you gonna let him burn you by making him the underdog? So, I say make him the favorite. I think he should be the favorite, and God, this is a good fight. I'm so fucking excited for this one. I'm gonna lean Energy. It's hard to pick against them. Kind of same thing I said of Carolina. All the momentum in the world right now. Yeah, like, I know Temirov's fucking won 10 in a row, but only 1 in UFC, getting a big step up really early in his career. We'll see. This is gonna be an interesting fight. We're gonna figure out how good Ramazan is real quickly in his UFC career, and we're gonna find out if Energy was a one-year wonder. Only one way to find out, man. I'm very, very excited to find out. I think this is gonna be a great fight. We might see a finish. If we do, that means Energy probably got knocked the fuck out. Or if this goes into deep waters, we'll see if Ramazan can sink or swim. Gonna be a good one, but I'm gonna lean with the Energy, the top 15 ranked, to make it 5 in a row. Give me Charles Johnson by decision. I think he's gonna make this kid work. I think he's gonna drown this kid. I don't know if he's gonna finish him. Like I said, I'm not gonna say he's gonna. Wow, he is much taller than him. Interesting. He might not finish him. Let's be honest now. Energies. I think that Josh Fan finish was very lucky, but I think he might drag the kid in deep waters. I could see maybe a submission late if Ramazan does gas out pretty badly. I could see Johnson get a submission. But outside of that, if Energy wins, I think it's going to be a decision. So, yeah. Give me Charles Energy Johnson by decision in a very good, very close fight that I won't be shocked if the newcomer comes in here and breaks the hearts of all the Skullet gang. So, we're going to find out. I'm really excited, but I'm going Energy by decision. Let's see if he proves you all wrong again. I can't wait for this fight. Such a banger. Energy, 5 in a row. After that, we go to our third fight of the night. I'm not even gonna waste time with this fight because I think it's fucking pathetic. As in our third fight of the night in the bantamweight division, or not flyweight division. Yeah, back to flyweight for our second and final female fight of the night. This one being the worst fight on the card in general. As in our third fight of the night, we head back to women's flyweight for Andrea KGB Lee versus JJ Aldrich. Why the fuck is Lee still here? We're saying the same thing, right? L, 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 L. This ain't the fucking Death Note. L's are not a good thing. Like, how is she still here? Like, she's fucking terrible. And she's on a 5-fight losing streak at 36 years old. Why? Again, why? I don't know what you want me to say. I truly just don't fucking know. I'm not gonna waste your time here. I'm not wasting time talking about a 5-fight losing streak, Andrea Lee. And I don't have much to say about JJ Aldrich. She's getting handed a win here. My lock of the night, give me JJ Aldrich by decision. I'm not even gonna waste time with this fight. It's fucking pathetic. All respect to JJ Aldrich. She's a fine fighter. This ain't because of her. But I'm not wasting time talking about this fight. The bitch has lost 5 in a row. I'm not wasting time breaking this down. You know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen. Give me JJ Aldrich by decision. My lock of the night. Oh, this is fucking stupid. This is just fucking stupid. So, JJ Aldrich by decision. Like 5 in a row. 4 in a row is one thing. 5 in a row. Pathetic. Stop giving Dana blowjobs in the Apex. Like, why is she? There's no reason for her to still be in the UFC. So, stupid. After that, we go to our 4th fight of the night. This fight could be decent. This could be pretty decent. As in our 4th fight of the night, we head to featherweight for a real fight. Came back on track from that Andrea Lee garbage. And then our 4th fight of the night, is it featherweight? Yeah. We have a decent fight between Lucas Almeida versus Danny El Puma Silva. This fight's alright. This could be a hidden banger, kind of like Danny Silva's last fight, funny enough. This could be a banger. It could be a finish even. We'll see. This could be fun. It should be fun, so let's see if it, on paper it should and could be. Let's see if it actually is. So, yeah. Let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about it. We'll begin with Lucas Almeida. Almeida in the UFC is 2-2, not coming out Contender Series because he lost to Daniel Zahilber, but I think it came in on short notice against Michael Trezano, where he did win that fight in a banger. Was that fight of the night? Yeah, banger. I remember watching that a few years ago. Then he lost 2 in a row against Pat Sabatini and Andre Fili. And now he's back. Well, then he got back on track against Timmy Kwamba. I don't think Lucas is that good. Like, his 2 wins, Michael Trillano, who's never really been a great fighter, and Timmy Kwamba, who I think is fucking awful. His 2 losses to Pat Sabatini and Andre Fili, those are perfectly fine losses. And Daniel O'Huber even. But I just don't think he's that good. I've not seen anything from him in his first 4 UFC fights to say he's that good. I think he's looked pretty whatever as a fighter. I don't think he has much of a chin. His ground game ain't great. He has heart. I'll give him that. He has heart. Like the Trezano fight showed that. But overall, I don't think he's that good. He's 34 years old now. Yeah, he beat Timmy Kwamba in a fight I barely remember. I just don't have much to say about Almeida. I don't think highly of him. I don't think he's a can, but I don't think he's much better than a can. Like, I think Timmy Kwamba's like the super tomato can. He was the underdog in that fight, if you remember, so. But that's more because he was on a 2-fight skid and people were high on Timmy Kwamba off that Bellagioki fight, which we saw how good Bellagioki is. But, yeah, I just don't think Almeida's very good. And, again, until proven otherwise, oh my god, this would have went so bad for him. Until proven otherwise, a win here would be impressive, but we'll see if he can get that. So yeah, I just really don't got anything. I really just don't got much to say about Lucas Almeida. I really just don't think he's that good. From what I've seen from him so far, nothing screams a UFC level fighter. So maybe it's just me, but I don't see it. To talk about his opponent, Danny Silva. Danny in the UFC is 1-0, coming out of Contender Series. He's a decent fighter. Again, like on a Contender Series, he had one of the best fights of the season and maybe of all time on that show with Angel Pacheco. He probably should look better against Angel Pacheco since Pacheco's fucking garbage. But, you know, he still had a fun fight with him, got a contract, and now he's in the UFC. In his debut against Josh Kulibau, he did miss weight, but he still was able to pull off the W in a very fun fight. And now, now a year later almost, he is back. Again, he looked decent in that Kulibau fight. I get Kulibau's not a great fighter. I don't think Kulibau is much better than Lucas Almeida. I do think Kulibau is better, but I don't think by large margins. So take that as you will. And again, Danny did miss weight. Knock on wood, he can actually make weight this time. If not, then I guess he's gonna have to move up to featherweight sooner than later. But right now, we'll see if this featherweight run works for him. He's 28 years old, coming out of the UFC gym. Cool. Again, he's fine. In his debut, he looked fine. I'm not going to call him really a prospect yet, because, again, Josh Kulibau's not the greatest, and it's been a year since we've seen Danny, so I would like to see a little more from him than having two really fun fights with Angel Pacheco and Josh Kulibau. Kind of getting a step down here from Kulibau, which is kind of weird, but when you take a year off, that's going to happen. So let's see how Danny looks. Can he make weight, and can he beat a step down, it feels like, against Lucas Almeida? Let's find out. He looked good in his debut as a giant underdog, if I remember. So let's see if the kid can win. Let's see if we can get to 2-0. He had a lot of hype after that Kulibau fight, might I add. Like, he was super hyped up. Like, people were saying, giving him, like, some high praise. So, let's see if he can follow up on that. Only one way to find out. The balance first fight have Danny Silva minus 190 to plus 160. Yeah. Like, I'd say 170, 180, 190, around that feels right. I don't think 200, I think that's a little bit too big of a favorite, but I think, I think between 170 and 190 feels right. He should win this fight. He is better than Almeida, I think. I think he beat someone better than Almeida in his debut. So he should win if he's as good as he was a year ago, which I don't know why you would get worse at 28 years old. He should beat Lucas Almeida. I don't think highly of Almeida at all, and I think Danny's a perfectly fine fighter from what I've seen so far. So it's just kind of hard to pick Lucas Almeida here. If you pick Almeida, I'm kind of wondering what you see and how you think he wins. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, we're gonna find out. But I'm gonna go Danny Silva by decision. Yeah, decision. Not really sure how he loses this one. I just think he's a much better fighter, and he's already beat much better fighters. So give me Danny Silva by decision. Maybe a finish, since Almeida is very finishable, but I'll go decision. So yeah, Danny's not really a finish machine, so give me Danny Silva by decision in what should be a fun fight, but also should be not the hardest fight in the world for Danny Silva. So yeah, Danny by decision, fourth decision of the night, and they're not gonna stop. So yeah, and it's an Apex card. What do you expect? As we head into our fifth fight of the night in the bantamweight division. A very good fight, and maybe what I would call the hardest fight on the card to predict. And in our 5th fight of the night, we have a fun veteran battle in the bantamweight division between Silva, Douglas Silva, Andrade versus John Sexy Maxi Castañeda. What a fight! This is a really good fight. Like I get one of these guys is almost 40 and the other is kind of mid, but this is still a very good fight. Like, these two have been hanging around the division for a long time now, and they're both very good. They're like the staples of the top 25 of bantamweight. So let's see what happens when we lock them in the cage to fight each other. Should be fun. I'm excited. This is gonna be a good one. Again, probably the hardest fight in the card to predict, in my opinion. See what happens. And we will begin with the very old Douglas Silva de Andrade, 39 years old, still fighting at a high level though, 7-6 in UFC, and that doesn't look great. His wins in UFC have been Cody Gibson, Henry Benoni's, whatever. He beat Cheeto, Hen Barrow, Gastano Perelio, Sergey Morozov, and Cody Stamen. He's lost to Zabir Tuhugov, Rob Font, Piotr Yan, Lauren Murphy, Saeed Nurmagomedov, and Miles Johns. Never lost 2 in a row. Keep that in mind. Yeah, I get Douglas is 40, but he is still really fucking good, in my opinion. Like, and look at the names he's been fighting ever since his debut. Zabir Tuhugov, a guy who's not terrible. Cody Gibson, Rob Font, he beat Cheeto, he fought Piotr, he fought Hen Barrow, he fought Lauren Murphy, fought Sergey Morozov, you remember him, he was a good prospect, fought Saeed, fought Miles Johns. Dude's been fighting a lot of top tier names. Again, he has a win over Cheeto. And then he fought Piotr Yan. Like, that's a great... Look at this 5-fight streak. Fought Cheeto, Yan, Barrow, Murphy. Jesus fucking Christ, man. But, he's good, man. I still think Douglas is good. In his last fight against Miles Johns, he did not look as great as he has in the past. But again, as he is now in his late 30s, gonna be 40 this year. Gonna be 40 in June. Let's see if he can go into his birthday with a W. So, yeah, I think Castañeda is about the exact same level as Miles Johns, so we'll see if this fight goes much better for Douglas. Again, never lost 2 in a row, something to keep in mind. I think age is just getting to him. Like, it's very hard to put faith into a 40-year-old bantamweight. No matter how skilled I think he is, he's going to start getting older and fading, and he has. So we'll see what he can do. Even that Cody Stamen fight, he didn't look great. A lot of people, I remember, think that was a robbery, if I'm correct. So gotta keep that in mind. You're having a very debatable fight with Cody Stamen, who's ass. And he's not the most active either. Like, Douglas has not fought twice in a year since 2022. So not even because he's having fights canceled, just because he's not fighting. So yeah, it's kind of looking like he doesn't have a lot left. But with the skill he does have, in my opinion, he might still be able to fight a few more times and rattle off a few more wins. So you never know. He has the skill for it. Now, can his body keep up with his skill? Let's find out. To talk about his opponent, the sexy Mexi, John Castañeda. John is 4-3 in the UFC, coming out Contender Series. I swear it feels like he's had more fights than that. His 4 wins have been Marcelo Rojo. My bad, that wasn't even UFC. Eddie Wineland, Miles Johns, funny enough, Murim Gaffarov, and Kung Ho Kang. His 3 losses have been Nathaniel Wood, Daniel Santos, and Daniel Marcos. Man, he likes losing to guys whose first name ends in EL. I should say. He's good. Castañeda's a dude who's looked really good at times in the Miles Johns fight and the Eddie Wineland fight, but then he's had times where he looks really bad, like the Daniel Marcos fight or the Daniel Santos fight. So I think he's a dude with a lot of talent, but he's never really been able to achieve how far he can really go with that talent. And now he's getting older himself. He's 33 now, and he has a barely above 500 record in UFC. Yeah, he's not losing to bad fighters. And Daniel Woods, great. Daniel Santos, when he actually fights, is pretty good. Daniel Marcos, I'm not high on, but take that as you will. And when he has some nice wins, Gaffarov, that's aging great. Miles Johns, that's always going to be a good win. So, I think he's a very talented guy, just he's not been able to break that glass ceiling. And as he keeps getting older, 33 now, how much more time does he have to break it? So, he's talented. I think he's a very good fighter. But at this point, it's starting to be like, you gotta start performing now. So, we'll see if this could be the start of something for him, or if this might just be another win for him to lose right after. We're gonna find out. I think John has a lot of talent, but we're gonna find out, man. 33 years old, can't really break that glass ceiling. Can he do it now? We'll see. The betting experts fight have John Castañeda minus 230 to plus 190. I actually think he became a bigger favorite since these are updated. I think he's like minus 350 now. I don't know if I'd have him that big of a favorite. Like, I would probably have him minus 200, and that's even being kind of high. Because I get Douglas's 40, but he's still good. I still think Douglas is very fucking good. So, I wouldn't count him out, man. I wouldn't count him out, especially against Castañeda, a guy who's underperformed at times, in my opinion. So, you're kind of playing with a double-edged sword to an extent. You got a 40-year-old versus a guy who really underperforms at times. Someone's gonna break. Let's see who it is. Who am I going with in this fight? It's hard to pick Douglas here. It's really hard to pick a 40-year-old at bantamweight against a tough opponent like at Castañeda. He'll give me John Castañeda. It's a few years ago, I might be picking Douglas, but in 2025, when he's gonna be 40 in a few months, yeah, it's definitely hard to pick the inactive 40-year-old. So, give me John Castañeda by decision, I think. Douglas has only been finished, I think, twice in the UFC, if that. So, yeah, good luck with that, John. Not like John's a finisher anyway. So, this should be a good fight, though. I think Douglas still has the power advantage, so gotta watch out for that. But overall, speed, age, of course. I think John has really good kicks. I think John will just be able to be the younger, fresher, better fighter at times in this fight. And I think we'll get him a W here. So, give me John Castañeda by decision in a very good, very close fight against a very tough 40-year-old who's just really hard to pick. So, give me John Castañeda by decision to make Douglas lose 2 in a row for the first time in his career. John Castañeda by decision. Tough fight to call, in my opinion. Very tough fight to call. After that, we go to our co-main event of the prelims, a fight that should be on the main card as well. Another guy getting brutally disrespected by the UFC for no reason. As in our co-main event of the prelims, we head back to featherweight. Then we have a fight at featherweight. Yes, we did. As we have Ricardo Carcachina Ramos versus Chepe Machine Gun Mariscal. Yeah, kinda the same thing I said of Charles Johnson goes here. Why is this guy who's on a long winning streak on the prelims fighting down? The UFC, you're really bad at hiding who you don't like. And Chepe and Charles Johnson are clearly two people you don't like. Well, maybe hide it better. Whatever, let's talk about this fight. We'll begin with Ricardo Ramos. Ricardo in UFC is 7-6. I know that's not what it says, but that's what it truly is. His wins in UFC have been... now I'm gonna try that fucking name. Eamon Zahabi, Kung Ho Kang, Journey Newsom, Eduardo Gregori, Bellagio, Danny Shirez. Danny Shirez. His losses have been Saeed Nurmagomedov, or Lauren Murphy, or Lerone Murphy. Lauren Murphy, that's a different person. Zubair Tukhugov, Charles Jourdain, Julian Rosa, and Josh Kulabau. He lost that Kulabau fight. I don't care what anyone says. One of the worst robberies of the year. Ramos is not very good. Like, yeah, he's had a few nice highlights in UFC. The Shirez and Eamon Zahabi knockouts are nice. But outside that, he's really not done much. Bellagio, that's a decent win. To be honest, I don't even remember that fight, if I'm being honest with you. Wait, was that Bellagio's UFC debut? It'd have to be, I would guess. And then his losses, every time he fights someone good, he loses. Saeed, Lerone, Tukhugov, Erosa, Jourdain, Kulabau. Even Kulabau is not good, but still, he lost that fight. He's not a good fighter. He has bad cardio. He has not really a lot of heart. Really very little striking, at least in the Kulabau fight. I don't think Ramos is that good. I truly don't think he's that good of a fighter. And I think he's been exposed many times now in the UFC for just not being very good. And I think the UFC is going to just continue giving him these fights that they think he can win, and he just ain't gonna win. So I just don't think he's that good. I've not seen much from Ramos to prove me otherwise, outside of two nice spinning elbow knockouts. And outside of that, I don't got much else to say. I don't think he's that good. I think he lost his last fight. I think he does not have a lot of good striking and a lot of heart. And really all I can think to say. Not really much else I can add to a guy who I'm not high on, and I don't think is very good. So, a guy who should be on a 3-fight losing streak right now. So, yeah. To talk about his opponent, who I actually have a lot of good to say about, because I think he's very good, Chepe Mariscal. Chepe in UFC is now 4-0. In his 4 wins, he has beat Trevor Peek, Jack Jenkins, Morgan Charrier, and Damon Jackson. How does he have 4 good wins, and now he's fighting Ricardo Ramos? Huh? But nah, Chepe is very good. Look at those wins. Trevor Peek at the pun intended peak of his hype, breaking Jack Jenkins' arm, which I guess that's not aged the best either. Beating Morgan Charrier at the peak of his hype, and beating Damon Jackson in a fun fight. This dude's really good, and then people have been talking about the amount of guys he fought outside the UFC. He's fought a lot of fucking UFC fighters before the UFC. Gillespie, Bryce, Yusuf, Pat, Brito, Garcia. He's fought a who's who, and he's finally in the UFC proven he's that guy. He has good striking, he has good grappling, he has good cardio, he has good heart. He's a well-rounded, very good fighter who could easily be in the top 15, probably should be right now. So, I think he's very fucking good. Hell, he lost the Dan Ige fight because Ige stepped in to fight Diego Lopez. Fuck. I think most people, and me included, were picking Chepe to win that fight, so I don't know. I think Chepe's very good. I think he's been brutally disrespected here with this matchmaking and or card placement, and I think he's going to prove again why he should be higher on cards fighting better level guys, because he is very fucking good. So 32 years old, gonna probably be 5-0 by the end of the weekend in the UFC. Get this guy some real competition and get him off the fucking prelims. He's good. He's really fucking good. I don't know what else you want me to say. I've been really impressed with Chepe in the UFC so far. So, not really much more I can think to say about a guy who's been very good compared to a guy who's not been. And I'm happy the betting odds at least can respect that. Putting Chepe Mariscal at minus 420 to plus 310. I'm torn between if I want to say that should be higher or lower. I'd probably leave it as is. Probably Chepe minus 420, 430 I think would be perfect. He should win this fight. He's better than Ricardo Ramos. I don't really know where Ricardo beats him. On the feet, Chepe's better. On the ground, Chepe's better. Cardio, Chepe's better. Momentum, Chepe's better. Chepe should win this fight pretty easily. I think this is his easiest fight in the UFC so far. And, yeah, I just think Ramos is not good at all. So, give me Chepe Mariscal by decision. Not really much to say. I could see this being a finish. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes for the kill here when Ramos is dead tired in the second and third round. But I think Chepe's not really a finisher like that, so give me Chepe Mariscal by decision. He should win this fight pretty easily. Again, the easiest fight of his UFC career so far, so make it look like that. Chepe Mariscal by decision. In our prelim co-main event. Originally it was the prelim main event, but our prelim main event, which I'll get into right now, got moved down a day ago. So now let's talk about our featured prelim, our main event of the prelims in the heavyweight division. Excuse me. As we end the prelims with Austen Lane versus Mario Pinto. Well, we've seen this fight a few times now with Austen Lane. It's called Austen Lane versus a fucking prospect. The third time we've seen it now. Let's see what happens this time. Let's get into our featured prelim with the UFC veteran out of the two, Austen Lane. Lane in the UFC is 1-2-1, coming off Contender Series. His one win in the UFC was in his last fight against Roberto Despange. His two losses have been Justin Tafa and Jahanta Deniz, and he had a no contest with Justin Tafa, which we all know about. Lane's a terrible fighter, if we're being honest. His striking is not great. His power is good, but his striking, I don't think is that high level. His wrestling's okay, as we saw in his last fight against Robelis. But again, I think anyone could take down Robelis, if I'm being honest, so take that as you will. I don't think Lane's very good. Actually, I know Lane's not very good. We all know Lane's not very good. 37 years old, at heavyweight, that's not really a big deal. You can fight for fucking ever. But, yeah, the UFC is just using him to fight these prospects. Jahanta Deniz, where he was close to fraud checking him before Tybura did, but he did eventually get knocked out. He beat Robelis Despange out of the UFC, and he now is fighting another undefeated guy in Mario. Yeah, I get why the UFC uses him to fight these prospects. He's a perfect matchup. He has enough striking to where he's not a complete punching bag, but he also gives them a wrestling threat. So it's smart. It truly is smart by the UFC, which is rare to say for them, but it is smart. So I get why they do it, and we'll see what happens this time. Let's see if their prospect can actually win. Jahanta won, but in hindsight, that was kind of pointless anyway. Despange lost. Let's see if Mario can make Lane go in under 500 against prospects. To talk about that prospect, Mario Pinto. Mario is the only debuting fighter on the card this week at 9-0, coming off Contender Series from last year. He looked alright in his Contender Series fight. Quick knockout, not very much you can say to go off of that. He fought a fellow undefeated prospect as a giant favorite, though. So I guess people weren't really high on this guy. He showed he had good one-punch power, and that's about it, so can't really go off of much there. 26 years old, 9-0 from Portugal. We'll see what this kid can do. Either he knocks out Austen Lane in highlight fashion, or he gets fraud checked. Pretty simple fight. Let's see what this kid got. Let's see if we get to see more than under 2 minutes of fighting from him. If not, I'm okay, but let's see what we would get from this guy. The betting odds have Mario Pinto at -360 to +280. I feel like we're playing a dangerous game here, gang. Kind of the same problem, same thing that happened with Das Page. Kind of the same thing that almost happened with Denise. This really unproven, very green prospect versus Austen Lane, who, yeah, Austen Lane is terrible, but he does have the tools to beat a very green prospect, aka wrestling. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how good Mario is very quickly in his UFC career, because Lane's gonna test him. Unless he can just crack Lane right off the bat, which maybe. But I feel like Lane's going to test him. We're probably gonna see at least one takedown attempt from Lane, and we'll see how it goes. Does Pinto have any grappling history? One submission. You know, still more than Denise or Das Page, so take that as you will. I'm gonna go Mario Pinto. I've not seen enough from him to say he's gonna get fraud checked here. But if Lane gets a takedown or shoots a takedown, I'm gonna be sweating bullets a little bit, so we'll see. But I'm gonna go with the prospect to break Lane's glass goddamn chin. So give me Mario Pinto by knockout first. I want to check some. What's the record of the guy he's beat on before the UFC? 1-1, 0-0, 0-0, 5-4, 2-2, 5-1, 6-2, 8-3. Okay, that's not bad. That's not as bad as I would have expected. Interesting. Yep, give me Pinto by knockout first. We'll see. Again, if Lane can get him down, then we're probably fucked, but we'll see. Did he win by decision before? So he okay, interesting a lot. So he can go 3 rounds, and he has like a level of competition before the UFC was not bad. Interesting. Very interesting. A lot more than I could say for Denise and Robelis, as I've said, so yeah. Give me Mario Pinto by knockout in the first to give us our first finish of the night, at least on my picking sheet, and to not get fraud checked by Austen Lane, but it's heavyweight, you never know what could happen. Finally, almost an hour in, that's the prelims. They're not bad, but they're not great. First, the Carolina fight, not good. Energy, great. Andrea Lee, what the fuck. Silva could be fun. Douglas Silva could be fun. Chepe always has a fun fight, and Pinto's fun. So the last 4 fights should be good. Charles Johnson should be good. Just low level garbage, and why are you even still here? So yeah, it should be an okay prelims depending on how everything goes, and at least the last 3 fights in Chepe should be, and Energy should be good for sure. We'll see with this and the 2 female fights. So, okay prelims, nothing amazing, but I've seen worse. Now let's get into the main card, which has some interesting fights. Some I will go quickly. Some I'll talk quickly about, and some I'll get you go in depth on. So let's not waste any more time. 5 more fights from UFC Vegas 103 to break down. So let's break them down. You ready? I am, as we begin in the welterweight division with a fight that probably doesn't go very long either way and should be very good as we begin our main card for UFC Vegas 103 with Danny Left Hand to God Barlow versus Sam the Future Patterson. Good fight here. This is a very good fight between two very interesting prospects. This should be a good one. This should be a very good fight. Really good fight to begin the main card. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued in this one. Let's see what happens. I'm very the perfect main card opener for out of every fight on this card. I think this is the perfect main card opener. We should get a finish. Two good prospects. Let's see what happens. We'll begin our breakdown of the main card with Danny Barlow. Danny now 2-0 in the UFC, coming out Contender Series, where he looked very good. And in UFC debut, he looked even better against Josh Quinlan. And then in his last fight, kind of everything went wrong. He missed weight, and he looked terrible against Nikolai Vertenikov, who we just saw last week get completely smashed by Austen Vanderfort. So, you know, great stuff there. So, yeah, very bad last fight for Barlow. The weight miss and looking bad against the tomato can, who stepped in on short notice. Yeah, not very good stuff to speak of there. So, he did lose some hype there, that's for sure. Definitely seen a few people bring that fight up as a reason to not pick him here, so makes sense. I still say he, instead of looking bad against Nikolai, he kind of just didn't fight. So take that as you will. Hopefully he actually fights this time, because the dude has power in his hands, and he is very, very, very good. But for some reason, against Vertenikov, he just did not show up, so we'll see if that changes here. We'll see if he can get back on track when it comes to being impressive against a very interesting opponent. That opponent being Sam Patterson. Sam in UFC is 2-1. I completely forgot he had a second fight at welterweight, to be honest. Coming off Contender Series, my bad, my mind started drifting. In his UFC debut, he got fucking murdered by Yanal Ashmouz, and then since moving up to welterweight, he has beat Johan Lainez and Kiefer Crosby. For some reason, this dude who's fucking ginormous was trying to make lightweight, which went as well as you think it did, and now he's up at welterweight looking very good. Yes, against bare minimum competition, Johan and Kiefer Crosby are hot dog shit, but he's still looking good in his weight class. Now he's getting his first real fight at welterweight, when we'll see what happens. This should be very, very interesting to see what happens here. This one should be good. This should be a good fight. Patterson has looked really good at welterweight so far. He's very tall and lengthy. He had a really good ground game, but his striking ain't great, and his chin's really high in the air. So we'll see if he can keep that chin down and not let it get cracked open. So should be interesting. Should be interesting. See what the 28-year-old can do in his third fight at welterweight, getting his first real test. The betting odds for his fight have Danny Barlow minus 305 to plus 245. I don't know if I'd have him that big of a favorite. I would probably have Barlow minus 280. Yeah, I think that sounds right. Minus 280. He should win. I do think he's the better fighter here. But I don't know if it's a foregone conclusion. Especially with how he can just not show up in a fight like his last fight. Plus, we've not really seen him grapple. And his first 3 UFC fights, I don't think he's grappled at all. If he has, it was minimal. And Patterson's a very good grappler, so that should be interesting. Should be very interesting. Let's see what happens here. My pick, I'm going to go Danny Barlow. I think he'll be able to crack that chin of Patterson like Janal did. But if the fight starts going deeper and Patterson can get a takedown, they might be looking at a fraud getting checked. So, if it's on the feet, I think Danny Barlow is going to win. If it's on the ground, I think Sam Patterson's going to win. Maybe. We've never seen Barlow on the ground, so we'll see if that changes Saturday night. It probably will, at least at one point in the fight. But if not, then I think it means Sam Patterson is taking a nap in the Apex. So, give me Danny Barlow by knockout in the first to start the main card. Should be a good fight to begin the main card. Again, I think I really would struggle to see this going 15 minutes. If it ends quickly, it probably means Barlow won. If it ends later, it probably means Patterson won. Or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. What I do know is my pick is going to be Danny Barlow by knockout in the first. I think he can crack that chin. That's going to be way high in the air. And should be a good fight, man. Two very interesting welterweight prospects. Can Barlow keep it standing, or can Sam get it down? Only one way to find out. Give me Danny Barlow by knockout in the first to begin our main card. After that, we go to our second fight of the main card. I'm not going to waste a lot of time here because I'm ungodly biased because I fucking can't stand one of these guys. And the other I am actually a fan of. And then our second fight of the night, and our third in the featherweight division, we have William Jaguar Gomis versus Hyder the Hurricane Amil. I'm not gonna waste time. I am biased. I will never pick William Gomis, even if I did say it. Even though if I did defend that Joe Anderson Brito decision, I do think he won that fight, or it was an understandable decision. I still think William Gomis is fucking terrible, and I can't fucking stand him. So, give me Hyder Amil by decision. Do I think Hyder is gonna win? Probably not. I think Gomis will probably cuddle him for 15 minutes, but Hyder has won me a good pick before, so fuck it. I'll shoot in the dark again. Hopefully he can beat this bum and finally get rid of William Gomis for good, because God, I'm tired of seeing this guy. He's not good. I don't care what anyone says. William Gomis is not good at all. Like, at all. So, give me Hyder Amil by decision. Do I think he's gonna win? No, but I'm biased, so fuck it. Hyder Amil by decision. After that, we had to our third fight of the main card, which should be a goddamn banger. That could easily be fight of the night. And then our third fight of the main card, we had to lightweight for a banger between Nasrat Haqparast versus Esteban El Gringo Ribovics. Just realized a lot of guys on this card getting sent to the Apex for the first time in their UFC career. Barlow, Patterson, Gomis, Ribovics, who else? A few are really getting sent to the Apex for the first time in a while. Since the Contender Series, or for someone like Gomis for the first time ever, so that's interesting. That's very interesting. I always find it interesting to see what fighters fought in the Apex for the first time, or fought in the crowd for the first time. And for Ribovics, this is his first time in the Apex since the Contender Series, so see how the kid does back at where it all began. But again, let's fight overall. I have to move on from that random subject. Nasrat, Esteban, what a great fight. Like, this is a really good fight. Nasrat, Ribovics coming off that fight of the year contender with Zellhuber, even if it was a very debatable decision. This is gonna be a banger. I can't wait for this fight. I think this could be fireworks. Could easily be fight of the night. And let's see if it is. We'll begin with the veteran of this fight, or the more veteran Nasrat Haqparast, aka Kelvin Gastelum. Nasrat in the UFC is 9-4. His 9 wins have been Mark Diakese, Gauti, Joaquin Silva, Alex Munoz, Rafa Garcia, John Makdessi, and then Quinones, Jamie Malarkey, and Jared Gordon. His losses have been Marcin Held, Drew Dober, Dan Hooker, and Bobby King Green. Nasrat's kind of been in the same position as a few people I've said on the card. He's able to beat these lower level guys, but he's not been able to beat these higher level guys. Like, he can beat Mark Diakese, Rafa Garcia, Jamie Malarkey, etc., but he's not beating Drew Dober, Dan Hooker, and Bobby Green. So, which is understandable. Those are 3 great fighters, but consistently losing to the higher echelon guys, but being able to beat the lower level guys, not the best look in the world. So, like, when your best UFC win after 9 wins is Joaquin Silva, or Rafa Garcia, or Jared Gordon, that kind of stuff, especially at lightweight, which has a lot of better fighters, that's worrying. But Nasrat is still very good. He's a very average good fighter. His striking is good. He has a little bit of power. With his grappling, I can't remember the last time we saw him actually fucking grapple. So, probably the Bobby Green fight? Maybe. I don't remember. But I don't think that's going to be a worry in this fight no matter what. So, overall, just in the striking realm, Nasrat is a pretty decent striker with decent power and a decent chin, and we'll see how far that gets him in this fight. On a 4-fight winning streak, the best streak of his UFC career so far, and with a couple nice wins, Malarkey and Jared Gordon. We'll see if he can upset the rising star of Esteban Ribovics. He's only 29 years old. Crazy. To talk about Esteban in the UFC is 3-1 coming off Contender Series. His 3 wins have been Kamala Kirk, Terrence McKinney, and Daniel Zellhuber, and he lost his UFC debut to Loik Radzibov. This man made a full 180 of his UFC career. Actually, 2 180s. He got his contract on Contender Series, was really hyped up by Dana. Then fights Loik Radzibov and loses, which is fucking not the best L in the world. And then he goes on a 3-fight winning streak, beating Kamala Kirk, Terrence McKinney, and Zellhuber, and now he's a hyped up prospect again. He fucking went back and forth. From fucking prospect to fraud to prospect. What? He is good. He does have a lot of talent. 28 years old. He is very talented. But he's definitely, like the Radzibov fight, he showed holes in his game. 2 years later, he does look a little bit better as a fighter. His striking's amazing. His power's amazing. Cardio, debatable. Heart, no debate there. He has a lot of heart. He's good. He's very good, but I don't know if he's a really good fighter or if he's just a really fun fighter, because depending on what happens here, we'll get that answer. If he loses this, then we'll know he's just a fun fighter. If he wins this, then we know, okay, this kid's legit. And let's be honest, like, as much as I like the Ribovics, his 3 wins have been weird. Kamala Kirk is garbage. Terrence McKinney is Terrence McKinney. We love him, but he's not that good. And Daniel Zellhuber, very debatable decision. Could have won either way, I guess, but that was a good fight. That was a very good fight. So, I don't know. I think Ribovics is very good, but we're gonna really learn everything we gotta learn about him in this fight. Is he a real contender or a real prospect, or is he a guy who you just have fun fights with? We're about to find out tomorrow, or tomorrow for when this comes out, in 2 days from when I'm recording it. So let's find out. The betting odds for this fight have Esteban Ribovics minus 265 plus 215. I think it's a little high. I probably would have him around minus 250. He should. I don't know if I want to say he should. Nasrat's no pushover, and we really don't know how good Esteban really is. Nasrat could just be the veteran here and fucking do some shit Esteban hasn't seen yet. So, like, we know that. I think if you break down this fight striking, I think Esteban's better. Power, I think Esteban's better. Chin, I don't think either is going to really get cracked. Again, I don't think we're going to get a knockout here. Both have good chins. Ground game, this could be where we get a really deciding factor. If Nasrat came in here for a wrestling game plan, that could really shake things up. Like, really. But he's never really been a wrestler. So, and then cardio, I think Nasrat's better. So, yeah, Esteban's better in a kickboxing match, but if Nasrat doesn't want to have a kickboxing match, he might be fucked. And then even if they do have a kickboxing match, if Esteban gasses, he's fucked, because Nasrat's a veteran with decent cardio. So, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be really fucking interesting to see what happens in this fight. It's gonna be fun. I'm very excited for this fight. But, who's my pick? Give me Esteban Ribovics by decision. I don't think we get a finish here. I think it's gonna be a good fight. I think it's gonna be a little more competitive than the betting odds say. But I still agree with them, and I'm going to go Esteban Ribovics by decision. Should be interesting. Should be a good fight. And, we'll see if this kid's legit. Either in my recap I'll be calling him a fraud, or a legit prospect. Only one way to find out. So let's find out. Can't wait for this fight. Gonna be a banger. And I'm gonna go with the hyped up Argentinian Esteban Ribovics by decision. Can't wait. After that, I'm not talking about this co-main event. You don't care. I don't care. I'll probably take Cody Brundage, best underdog on the card, which says a lot. Why is that the co-main over fucking any of these? Fuck any of these. So, I'm not wasting your time. You don't care. I don't care. Next, time for our main event of the evening. Short notice replacement, and to an extent, kind of. But we still got a pretty decent, very interesting main event. As for our final fight of UFC Vegas 103, we end the night in the flyweight division with Manel Starboy Kape versus Asu Zulfaka Almabayev. Well, this fight was meant to be Manel Kape and Brandon Royval, as we all know, but sadly Royval pulled out a few weeks ago. And then Asu was meant to be fighting Steve Erceg on his card, and Erceg got rebooked to fight Moreno. Then Almabayev was meant to fight Al Nascimento, and then they said, fuck it, Kape needs a fight. Asu is worthy of not worthy, but it has earned a fight like this. Fuck it, Asu and Manel. Good matchmaking. It sucks we don't get to see a Brandon Royval masterclass here on Manel Kape, because that'd be very enjoyable. But this should be fun nonetheless. Two very interesting fighters, even though I think one's ungodly overrated. Let's see what happens here. A lot can happen, so let's see what does happen. Kape, Asu, should be a good main event to end the night. So let's get into it, and for the rare time we'll actually go in depth on a main event breakdown, let's talk about Manel Kape. Kape in the UFC is 5-3. His 5 wins have been Ode Osborne, Zulgas Zumagulov, Dave Dvorak, Felipe dos Santos, and Bruno Silva. He has lost to Alexandre Pantoja, Mateus Nicolau, and Muhammad Mukayev. I'm not high on Kape. I don't think he's that good of a fighter. He's very quick, he hits very hard, but every time he's fought a real fighter, he's not looked good. Pantoja beat him, which, come on, Pantoja? Ugh. Nicolau beat him? He had a very tough fight with Felipe dos Santos, who, in hindsight, is not very good. Lost to Muhammad Mukayev, who's dog shit. Like, his other wins have been Ode, Zulgaz, Dvorak, and Bruno Silva. He's not beaten anyone. Like, I'm not high on this guy for doing a few dance moves in between combinations against cans. I don't think Manel's that good, and I think he gets smoked by fucking... if he rematched Pantoja, I think he loses. If he fought Royval, he gets styled on. If he fought Moreno, he gets styled on. He would get beat by Erceg. Kai Carr would probably beat him. Like, I don't think he's that good. Even some guys like, I'm trying to think who else I think Charles Johnson beats him. If I want to be honest, I don't think Manel is that guy. I think he's a guy from Ryzen who we know how good their fighters are. He's not good. I don't think he's that guy. Like, yeah, Figgy would have fucking killed him. So, I don't know. I just really don't know. I'm not high on Manel Kape off of okay performances versus tomato cans. That's a really weird thing to be high on a guy for when his other fights are losses to not even that, like, even if you want to say higher level guys, they're not even good high level guys. It's not like he's losing to Royval, Moreno, Ursay. He lost to Mukayev, Nicolau, and Pantoja. Garbage. So, I'm not high on Kape. Even if he wins this fight, Almabayev is not, it's okay, but he's not fucking amazing. So, and if he wins this fight, I think he loses the next fight. If that's a title shot, or the fight with Royval, Moreno, Kaikara, whoever, I'm not high on Manel Kape. I'm truly not. So, I think he's an asshole. I don't think he's that good of a fighter. Sorry, but that's just what I think. And he's 31. So I thought he was older, but I guess not. Talk about his opponent, Asu Almabayev. Asu in UFC is 4-0, with his 4 wins being Ode Osborne, CJ Vergara, Jose Johnson, and Mateus Nicolau. Someone could beat Nicolau, someone couldn't. If you want me to be honest, do I think Asu's wins are great? No. Like, Ode Osborne, same as fucking Kape. Ode's not a great win. CJ Vergara, same thing. Jose Johnson, really. Mateus Nicolau, I've never been high on Nicolau. So, yeah, you gotta factor that in. So, I'd say Asu does he have, you're pretty much comparing Nicolau to Bruno Silva, and in that debate, I don't fucking know. And then they don't really have much better wins outside of that. So what, Zulgasu Magulov and Felipe fucking Dos Santos? So, I don't know. Asu has looked good in the UFC, but he hasn't looked great. He easily beat Ode. He beat CJ in a forgettable fight. He beat Jose, but wasn't able to finish him, which kind of looks bad, especially in hindsight. And he beat Nicolau, which, yeah, okay, sure. I don't know. I think Asu's fine. His striking's okay. His ground game's where his bread and butter is. Excuse me. He's 31 years old. He's on a 17-fight winning streak. The level of competition outside the UFC, up and down, it looks like. He lost to Tagirul and Bekov, which, okay, that's not a terrible L, especially for your 5th career fight. When it happens. Asu's fine. Kind of same thing I said of Kape. How do I think he does against the higher level guys? I don't know if he beats them. I doubt he does. I think he loses to Royval. He loses to Moreno. He probably loses to Kaikara. I doubt he beats Pantoja. So I doubt he might have beat Ursay with how Ursay has looked, but outside of that, I don't know. I think Asu's fine, but I don't know if he's the chosen prospect, even if he wins this fight, so we'll see. I think he's okay. I've been more impressed with him than I have Manel Kape, and I haven't even been that impressed with Asu over the UFC run so far, so we'll see. We'll see. Time to make or break for Asu. Either he's legit, or he sucks. Only one way to find out. We're going to find out Saturday night in the main event. So, let's see. The Bangouts first fight have Manel Kape minus 230 to plus 185. I think those odds are kind of silly. I'd probably have Kape. I think Kape should be the favorite, since I think we have seen more from him than Asu. But I would say minus 190. I think that feels right. Will Kape win? More than likely. unless Hasu can just get him down for 5 rounds, which, if in a 3-rounder, I think the odds would be a little closer, but in a 5, we're getting shaky. So I'm biased. I'm gonna pick Asu Almabayev because fuck Manel Kape. I think he's a fucking asshole, and I think he's overrated as fuck. But yeah, ain't this going against my point earlier of not getting picks wrong for no reason? Hey, this I actually have reason. No, I don't know. I just don't want to pick Manel Kape. If I'm being honest with you, I don't think he's good. And I compared to William Gomis, I would pick him before I ever pick William Gomis. But if I don't have to pick either of them, which I don't here, fuck you, I'm going to Asu Almabayev. So I think it's possible Asu wins, a better chance of him winning than Hyder or Amil, if I'm being honest. But we'll find out. We'll see. If he can keep him down for 5 rounds, cool. But do I think he'll be able to? Probably not. Will he get pieced up and maybe finished? Good chance of it. I think this fight's either a cop finish, a decision for either guy, or yeah, probably that. I don't think Asu is gonna finish Manel. So what's the height on these guys? Okay, pretty much the same. If it's a striking match, Manel is gonna win. If it's a grappling match, Asu is gonna win probably, and more than likely Manel is going to win. But I'm biased. Give me Asu Almabayev by decision. I doubt he wins, but I want to have fun, so give me Asu by decision. Please end the hype of this fucking overrated clown. He's not good. He's not good at all. Give me Asu Almabayev by decision to end UFC Vegas 103. With finally, boom. That was the card. To go over my picks one more time. Luana Carolina by decision. Charles Johnson by decision. JJ Aldrich, my lock of the night, by decision. Danny Silva by decision. John Castañeda by decision. Chepe Mariscal by decision. Mario Pinto by knockout in the first. Danny Barlow by knockout in the first. Hyder Amil by decision. Esteban Ribovics by decision. Cody Brundage by decision, and Asu Almabayev by decision. Bang. Yeah, I know a lot of decisions, but let's be honest. Decision, more than likely a decision if he wins. It could be a knockout if he wins. Decision, probably a decision, maybe a late finish. Probably a decision either way. Maybe a finish, but who knows. And more than likely a decision. Maybe a finish from him. So, you know, maybe there I could see at most 5-6 finishes, but even I think that's pushing high for the fighters on this card. So I hope I'm wrong. Give me 12 finishes, but let's be honest, I highly doubt that happens. So I'm gonna stick with my probably 2 finishes. I doubt I change it, and we'll see how dumb or right I am. Outside of that, don't really got much else to say. That's UFC Vegas 103. It's okay. Again, I still stand by my idea of the ordering of the card is its biggest flaw. If the card went Kape, Johnson, Ribovics, Chepe, Barlow, that would look so much better. But this garbage and this not really deserving to be on the main card definitely weakens it, in my opinion, and makes the card look worse than it really is, because there are good fights. This is a great fight. These 4 fights could be good. So, but for some reason they're under this garbage or this. So, I don't get it. I truly just don't get it. So, but we'll find out. Sunday, I'll recap this card and tell you if I was right or wrong. Maybe this was the correct card order. We'll find out. But what I do know as of right now is I hope you enjoyed the video. And please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2025. And unless I'm getting to say something, which I don't think I am, again, it's an Apex card. I'm not expecting much. A few good moments, but overall, either boring or forgettable fights, which is probably what we're gonna get. So, Sunday, you'll hear me recap this, hopefully on time or around 1 o'clock EST, you never know. And, yeah, let's see what the Apex has for us this week. But, outside of that, don't really got anything else to say besides, unless I'm forgetting something, as always, however if that was loud, RX out for the last time in February. Good vibes only, and always.